We did not see this coming. We're in Italy, and we are lacking the Italian flavour at the front of the field. But what we are seeing is the form of the current 2025 World Super Touring Car season. Into round 4 we go, and the Renault-Volvo battle that we're projecting to happen is very much at the front of the field. BMW where they should be, Alfa Romeo where they shouldn't be. You can barely see them in the caption there. Wittmann right at the back of the pack. Fisichella also struggling as well, one row ahead. Decent run from the Fords again, and a decent run from the Cobra Focuses, having pretty much set the standard for the privateers, gracing the top 10 as well. It's Adrian Michael Rees here, back once again for another bout of touring car action alongside Michael Swinnerton. Hello there.
Hello, hello.
So you can keep us up to date then of what on earth has happened with the Alphas.
Yeah, good question. I don't know what they've done. Whatever they've done for this track, they've done it wrong, which is incredible considering not 2 seasons ago, we were looking at Alpha 1-2 finishes for both races round here. So I have no idea what they've done. Whatever they have done is clearly the complete opposite of what they've done.
So
what they
hopefully
should have done.
fingers out for race 1, and fingers crossed they salvage a top 10 finish to be at the front for that second race. But we've got one race to go before that. This one, Wirtz on pole, Ingram alongside, the two BMWs behind. Let's see what happens going into that tight bottleneck. Turns 1 and 2 coming up. Away they go, the BMWs, of course they will. Rear wheel drive off the line. Decent run from the Chaser Motorsport built red flag car. We didn't expect to see that doing so well this year. In the mid-pack ahead now of one of those Cobra Focuses. And there's the Alphas already making inroads off the line. Webber, Schneider, first and second out of the complex. Oh, and Wirtz, that was Ingram going wide, sorry. Wirtz in the Renault. Lammers doing well in the Honda. Palou very good in 7th. It's been good outings for Ford so far, but we've got the waterfall coming up. The power of the Renault finally waking up to its master's foot on the throttle, but BMW side by side again, and Ingram back in the action as well. We were going to say a clean getaway. Ingram making up for what wasn't really a slow start, but a big mistake on the exit of turn 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the Beamer's surprising nobody there. Getting into first and second, Ingram making his way back up the field after a very slow start. I'm surprised that the Alphas have managed to make some headway because they had quite a few rear-wheel drive cars in front of them on the grid, but there they are, doing something on track at least.
And Wittmann is running away from last place as quickly as possible.
She's got herself into 14th. The points nice and quickly.
Exactly. There's Jason Thompson as well, surprisingly low. Swamped by some privateers, but that's the well-running Focuses. There's Liam Hartley, the rookie. Did get a good getaway as well. Was in the backpack with the Alphas on board with Wittmann. Then there's turn 2. And Fisichella trying to put Rydell to shame now by being in last. Palou and Salo 7/8, wobble on the exit at turn 3. Then the top 3 privateers. There's Kubica's BMW, the 2 other Fords. Moreno's and Hardy, fantastic start to their season, and they don't really have to do much now, having got some podiums, let alone some points in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I speak for quite a few people that nobody was really expecting this iRacing sponsored team to do that well. I mean, yes, they're newly built Ford Focuses, but Ford Focus has never been the pace setter. People were kind of questioning why they've chosen that to be their platform of choice, but then come race 2 at Brazil earlier this year, and Zanardi grabbed himself a 2nd place. So they've got something to prove, and they're proving it well enough.
And proof enough in that the other Fords, the works Fords, are still in front of them, doing quite well. 7th, 8th below Salo. There's the two Renaults then, finally joined together after some early laps there.
Yeah, Bianchi's got himself around Vert, so they've swapped positions.
Here comes Ingram.
Yeah, here comes Ingram with a head of steam on Schneider.
And the fastest lap.
Fight for the lead.
Yeah.
Schneider is definitely going to have the bit between her teeth because, of course, she went winless last year and she wasn't happy about it. Jamie Webber only sneaking in 1 or 2 wins.
And no win so far. I wonder if Ingram's going to get them to race each other to sort of psych each other out and then try and pounce. But then the power's gone again out of the slower corners. But this top straight line speed for those Renaults, dangerous combination.
More formation flying from the two BMWs.
Waterfall again, side by side. Webber down the inside. That was Schneider down the inside of Webber. Quite a rapid exit out of the waterfall too. And Palou has gone ahead of Lammers. Up to 6th, there you go.
Squabble for last place there.
Yeah, the Tamiya is now planted 19th and 18th. Not dropping back so much. Still early days yet. And Kenny Ekstrom, I mean, you'd expect him to be there if Ingram's doing well. And he's in that back pack too, the back of the pack.
Yeah, everyone at the Volvo garage has been really scratching their heads over that one because the two cars have got very similar setups on them. So you'd think that both cars would be similar in speed, as we see Ingram going for second on Webber. He had the momentum, but the Beamer's got the better brakes.
Switchbacks can be done, but then the Renaults want that switchback. That was naughty. That's Wirtz. Now ahead of Bianchi again.
Yeah, those two are swapping around. Ingram is now going to have to be Mr. Defensive because we know how good these Renaults are in a straight line.
In the blue and yellow on blue on yellow battle for the podium.
Meanwhile, this is a golden opportunity for Schneider to just run away and get a win.
It's there. It's potentially possible. Wirtz with the power inside the waterfall. Will there be a switchback? That's a blatant switchback right there, and all the space in the world to make a clean getaway as well. Back to third, Ingram goes.
That was quite literally textbook.
Fords clustered together. Thompson trying to get past Kubica there. Hartley doing well, putting Dumas to shame, the DHL regular there.
Yeah, Hartley's quick. I'm not entirely sure where they plucked him from, but he's definitely shown pace and promise in pre-season testing. Obviously, the DHL team have really not had the start to the season they wanted with a second car, basically failing to score points for the first 2 rounds of the championship. So they're on catch-up mode right now.
They did not do that to just make up the numbers. It must be said, it's just a surprise that they haven't capitalised on keeping 2 cars running competitively when they were doing so good as a one-team unit, even when they were running the BMW.
Two Renaults continuing to squabble for 4th place.
And it's still a decent spread all the way back to the Tamiya Hondas in last place.
Is Wirtz going to try a dive bomb? Is Ingram going to try a dive bomb? He's close enough on Webber. He has a look.
Switchback time.
Gives him the space.
No, that BMW got something in the definitely got something in acceleration out of that hairpin.
Yeah, rear wheel drive. Yeah, here comes Wirtz on Ingram. It's hard to tell whether it's just concertina effect or people are genuinely gaining and losing momentum in different parts of the circuit on one another. Either way, it means at any one point of the lap there's someone having a go at someone here in this top 5.
On board, Nico Wirtz, usual Volkswagen runner, now putting his experience to good use for the French outfit. did definitely struggle last year towards the end, and it's a nice surprise to see them doing so well at the start of the season, especially with Bianchi getting 2 wins in already, Nico with 1.
Yeah, these Renaults
Get his
are,
form
even though
back.
they've got 2 different drivers, they are kind of mimicking what they did last year at the beginning of the season, with Aiello and Gasho, of course, mopping up a whole heap of race wins at the beginning part of the year.
We are just waiting for the bubble to burst. It's not going to happen yet.
I mean, hope maybe it doesn't happen at all, and Renault just stomp away with the championship this
Oh.
year. Wirtz goes for it, gets the crossover done to him again. He hasn't learned from the first time.
The bumper on that Volvo must be made out of titanium. It's not a scratch.
I mean, yeah, it's a Volvo.
It's not a Nokia. Come on. Oh, wide goes it's Ingram.
Bit of rallycross.
And this is your top 5 for the foreseeable. Palou in 6 now being traffic jam to Lammers and Salo. Lammers still being the lead Honda runner, which is a bit of a surprise. Thompson has got ahead of the bulk of the privateers, now chasing down those 2 Cobra, those barely disguised Cobras.
And the crucial thing is, currently, 9th and 10th. So should they finish like this, they're going to have the entire front row to themselves for race 2.
This is where the locals were screaming for that green car just in this background shot there to get some more positions. They're in the same shot right now, but Kubica and Thompson are definitely in the way. I wonder if that energy has been spent so far. Almost halfway there.
Very,
DHL
very true.
and red flag cars side by side exit at turn 3 as well.
Though, you know, the hometown fans have Zanardi here in this Ford to root for. He's another hometown boy. Of course, if he gets pole for race 2, there might be a small riot, a happy riot.
There's not much. I mean, it is just the car. It seems. I mean, he could be, you know, he could be driving a space hop, but it wouldn't make a difference. It's not an Alpha.
Yeah, there is something to be said about the badge going a ways. The badge that is not here in the top 5, though. Schneider going defensive on Webber. And here goes Ingram, hauling it around the outside. Got a run.
Oh, aggressive.
Give him the room.
He's making up for that aggression that was given to him by the 2 Frenchmen in the Renaults last season by dishing it out on the Germans. Even there's a very aggressive Australian driving that car, won't like that one bit.
Oh, Ingram is in between a bit of a rock and a hard place here, because he catches the BMWs at kind of the wrong moment and then has to defend against the Renaults for the rest of the lap. Can't really do anything about his current position, although I'm sure he'd be happy with 3rd.
I know we are starting to get a bit of stragglers, mind you. Ingram down the inside for the waterfall.
There goes
Wirtz.
Wirtz.
Hook, line, sinker. Wirtz with the power, but none of the brakes.
That's allowed Bianchi to have a sniff. Somehow everyone's retained their position.
It's as you were. Nothing's happened, but except everything's happened.
Except
everything
everywhere. Are getting rubbed.
All at once. Surely. Down the inside of Rabbit Ear 1. Rabbit Ear 2.
Webber had the momentum there and the grip, although he's missed the apex there, clipped the grass, and this is where the BMWs are being kind of weak at the moment. It's the last corner, so Ingram might be able to just get a big slingshot around the outside here.
There's the momentum, there's the grip, you can see it, and it's on.
There we go.
Move has been made, but will it be for long? Wirtz has also got the power to see that particular move through, if not by the end of this braking area.
Whoa! Bianchi with the dive.
Bianchi with the dive.
And Webber just got mugged by the 2 Renaults there.
Well then. He's not going to like that one bit. There was a bit of aggression shown a lap earlier. Okay, there we go. There's dishing it some of it back. Almost wide goes Bianchi.
This is where the Renaults come into their own, is down this fast back section. Like, Wirtz is already on the back of Ingram, so are we going to see the crossover move happen a third time? I think we might.
Wirtz inside of Ingram.
Oh, Ingram pushing him all the way to the line.
There's recipe for switchback right
There
there.
it is.
There it is. Bianchi with the fastest lap though, and still in fourth. There's the Palula Masalo triumvirate, but there's a trailing Cobra car. That's Moreno, P9. Yeah, this is looking very promising for their start to the race 2.
Yeah, Zanardi's got a few laps left to hang on to it, but he is getting caught by Thompson and Whitman, so don't know if he's going to retain that one. Well, the civil war for third place continues with a couple of dented Renaults here.
Almost up the front of the car.
Wiggle, that's allowed Webber to get close right in on it.
Mind you, Ingram has just closed in on Schneider. Here's more switchback action with 5 to go.
That was all very tame through there, but 5 to go, so it might make sense to calm down for now. Marino potentially having a look at taking 8th place from Salo there. So where one iRacing Ford is dropping back, the other one's trying to go forwards.
Here's something that we haven't mentioned in the first 3 races, the tyres. It's the same sort of compound that was being used in the previous season, and therefore it looks like everyone's potential strategies haven't really changed this time by. Rydell precariously slow.
Yeah, something's gone wrong with that car, I think, because they had high hopes when they got the FL5 upgrade and got to ditch the old FK8 Civics, but it's just not warranted them the results they were hoping for. Certainly not this year, at least. Last year is a different story.
I wonder if the distraction of a third Japanese car has kind of weakened their efforts.
Yeah, entirely possible, though Catherine Hill has actually managed to not only score points, but she managed to get a race win in that car. Meanwhile,
Wirtz sneaking up on Ingram, bit of damage there perhaps, giving it back to Wirtz. Managed to almost get a jump around the outside of the exit at turn 2. Did Wirtz there.
Yeah, they're definitely finding grip in some unusual places around here, which might be catching out some of the other drivers.
So unless Webber has decided to call it and declare it that he'll be in 5th for this race, start 6th for race 2. Okay, that's not going to be good at HQ for Renault. Bianchi didn't really use his own brakes, rather Wirtz's instead.
I wonder if that was a deliberate play to try and like slingshot or pinball Wirtz past Ingram, and so they could like as an attempt to work together, maybe.
The strangest bump drafting I've ever seen.
Yeah, round a corner. But I mean, didn't send Wirtz off the track, didn't ping him into the gravel, so it could have been a lot worse. Speaking of more rallycross from Ingram.
More rallycross, more joker laps. Didn't give Schneider, didn't give Webber any ground to gain, but it did give Ingram the momentum. But there's the Renault power again. Schneider preemptively trying to defend the Renaults as they go down the inside of the Volvo.
Wide.
3 wide at one of the slowest points of the track. And there's the aggression again.
Bianchi nearly got a 2-for-1 offer there. He nearly managed to get Wirtz and Ingram in amongst all that. Made a very brave dive bomb there, and it sort of paid off.
It's going to happen again come the end of this long straight into the waterfall. These 2 Renaults.
Schneider's
It's
just
almost
holding on
like
to...
they've got. It's almost like those Renaults have got DRS, but they obviously don't. That's not in the rules. Down the inside goes Wirtz on Bianchi.
Makes it stick.
And now Palou has got Webber right in front of him. Lama's chasing him. So here's the battle for the pole. Mind you, we've seen sneak tactics before, but not this blatant in that Webber, we did mention that Rydell was precariously slow, but is Webber being deliberately slow to try and get a better grid position for race 2, knowing that the aggression might be a little too much for the final knockings of this particular race? We've got 2 to go, and Ingram, unless the BMW got the power, it's
the BMW
equal
doesn't
on
necessarily
power.
have the power, but it's definitely got the brakes. He says Ingram goes down inside, not quite.
Almost.
Just
And those
slammed
Renaults
the door
caught
on
up
the
at the
Renault.
end. Defensive goes Schneider. So the switchback, maybe not there, but these Renaults now are very close to Ingram. And one long straight to do a move in.
Yeah, we've seen Bianchi do some pretty long-range dive bombs already this race, and he's definitely in range to do one this time round.
All 3 of them have done dive bombs.
Oh.
If not all 4 of them. Schneider goes defensive. Recipe for switchback, but Ingram doesn't have enough power to do that, to take the lead.
Wirtz takes third, though, off Bianchi.
Again. Those 2 are swapping places like it's nobody's business.
There's definitely no team orders going on here, is there?
There might be, if that's anything to go by. We just saw some panel bashing again, and we're going to see, we almost saw it again as Bianchi manages to hold off on trying to nerf Wirtz through Rabbit 1.
These Renaults are looking very dented and a bit scratched. There's gonna have to get.
I wonder why.
The mechanics have definitely got some work cut out for them for race 2 to get them back.
Okay.
Where they need to be.
Someone is going to be in the lead by the end of this lap, and it's not Ingram. He just got bumped into backwards. Wirtz down the inside. What a final lap! What a final lap we're in store for if Wirtz can take the lead, having got out of the exit of the final turn in third.
Yeah, Wirtz just put the biggest of sends on both the cars in front and actually did pull off the 2-for-1 offer, unlike his teammate. And now he's just...
And doing his best Scalded Cat impression.
Heading off into the distance, yeah.
Now will Ingram try to make up for that?
Schneider's going defensive. Ingram on the brakes a little bit earlier, trying to get a good exit and a good run. And Schneider makes up the time there. They're now nicely spaced out, heading into the rabbit ears. Bianchi can still be happy with 4th place because he's got the extra 2 points for the fastest lap at the minute.
Still does. Unless Wirtz's ground clearance from Schneider and Ingram put that beyond doubt. So it's
possible.
not been of any patriotic flavour, but the excitement was turned up to 11 for this entire pack. We did not expect this to be the order come the end of the penultimate lap, as Ingram goes down the inside for P2 perhaps. Nope, Schneider still got it. Wirtz with the win on the final lap, and then Webber still manages to hold ground in 5th. Palou, Lamasalo, and okay, it's Jason Thompson for pole for race 2, unless Wittmann tries to get one in. No. Zanardi managed to, or didn't manage to hold them by Dumat and Hartley in team order. And it's the 2 Tamias. Wow, both Tamias had to struggle at the end, and boy oh boy, what an entertaining race. We were in store for it. We were just hoping that those Alphas, even before qualifying, would have been in there, and even if it did lack that sort of Alpha Italian power on home soil, that was probably the race of the season, but we're still early.
I mean, race of the season so far for sure. Um, yeah, I mean, the top five put on a really good fight there. Not necessarily the cleanest fight I've ever seen, but a good fight nonetheless. And then you had the second group behind also putting on a good fight, which we didn't get to see as much of, which is understandable. So, of course, now we get the fun chaos of it all being reversed. So, can the two Renaults make their way through traffic? This has always been the issue that Alfa Romeo have had. Now we get to see if Renault can do the same thing.
As we get a glimpse of the waterfall turn that held most of the action. Well, pretty much every single turn had all the action. More action inbound when we give you the next bit of video footage from the World Super Touring Championship Season 5, Race 2 coming up. Looking forward to it. Good racing, everyone.